interesting tidbits.
Does it help with the stamina?
Oh, good point. I don't know. I mean, it's not so much so about the stamina, but more so about the endurance. Where is this motivation to get to learn about all these new things? And then eventually, after you have gotten to know these things well enough, you will develop a passion for it. You know, I was like totally elated, and I could sing along to every single one of the chorus song because it just got into me, and I didn't even know that I like opera.
Hi everyone, I'm Gina from the Singapore Lyric Opera and welcome to our online program SLOchillOut. In this program, we will be addressing questions and doubts you may have about Western opera with renowned individuals from our industry. SLOchillOut will be aired on every Monday, running for 9 weeks on our social media platforms, so keep a lookout and stay tuned. To kickstart the program, we have What's in Your Opera Amenity Kit, and in this series, we will be addressing questions you have about opera, such as what exactly is an opera, is opera for us, and why should we watch the opera? In this episode, we have our very own chorus master, Terence Toh, who will share with us on the topic of Is Opera Too Old-Fashioned for You? Terence, would you like to share a bit more about yourself with us?
Hi Gina. Hi everybody, I'm Terence and I'm a choral director by profession. I'm also a music educator and I happen to be SLO's chorus master as well. I joined SLO in 2015. That was when we were still back at the Waterloo Street, and it has been a while since then. I'm also very heavily invested in youth development in the choral arts, in music, and I run a community choir called Evolve. Yeah, happy to be here today.
So Terence, can you tell us like what is opera and how can the general public understand opera?
Yeah, an opera is basically a dramatic story conveyed through song. So, well, having said that, the music element in an opera is dominant, but not overwhelming. It is actually a fusion of several aspects of art forms. You have drama, you have staging, you have music, of course, you have the libretto, which is the story, and well, most often than not, you also have the dance element, although in certain productions, it tends to be taken away because of budget constraint or other issues. Yeah, but to me, an opera is really a fusion of all these colorful elements of the art form presented to you in a storytelling mode. And how could the general public come to appreciate or to understand opera? Is actually very simple. It's really about it's about sitting back and enjoying a good book, a good story being told to you and expressed through great singing, through great acting, and through props and the setting of the stage. It's just really vibrant. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so like maybe you can share with us a little bit about the history of opera, like how it came about.
Right. Well, opera can be traced all the way back to the ancient Greeks because that's where most of the elements of art come about. I mean, we have them coming up with poetry, with music, and well, in those times, it's said that the first few forms of opera was created through them infusing poetry and drama and story into music. So that is how it all got started with, and opera essentially took form and gained traction through Italian composer. One of the most famous one will be Claudio Monteverdi, and that is through which people start to get to know opera as an art form, and they start to pay attention to it. And eventually, of course, it goes to countries in Europe, and then eventually in Asia. Yeah.
So like, well, what is opera to you, and what do you love about opera?
Oh, what is opera to me? Well, opera is, well, to be very honest, I only got into opera like seriously from a professional point of view when I joined SLO. But there's a good story behind this. Yeah. So incidentally, 20 years before I joined SLO, 1995, I was a 14-year-old boy singing in a school choir, and the school choir was actually roped in to be part of a opera production, and it was I remember it to be staged in the National Indoor Stadium. It was a really massive thing. It was basically also my first interaction with opera, which incidentally became my favorite opera because I got involved with it, and I learned a little bit more, and I grew to love the music so much, even though I was just one of the little priests, you know, in the scene. And the triumphant march, which is the chorus number that we were very much involved with, I just hit me like a truck, and just got me to start thinking and appreciating what opera could be, and what the music in opera, the role that they play in this storytelling nature of this art form. So that is what opera is to me. It's life-changing. Yeah, it is in fact life-changing. It has allowed me to experience a different aspect of life that I might have not realized that I can.
But like, you were just 14 years old.
I was a 14-year-old.
So you like started singing when you were...
Well, I started singing when I was very young. Actually, just way. I mean, I don't know. I took part in many, singing competition when I was young. My parents probably thought that I could do it, so I did a lot of singing as a soloist when I was young. And then when I was in secondary school, I joined the choir naturally. But then I was actually an athlete. I did a lot of running.
Really?
Yeah, I was into competitive sprinting.
Huh?
Yeah, before I did music.
Okay, this
More-
is surprising.
yeah, interesting tidbits.
Does it help with the stamina?
Oh, good point. I don't know. I mean, it's not so much so about the stamina, but more so about the endurance. Yeah, it's two different things. You know, like I think being able to stand on stage and be part of the entire production and giving in your 100%, 2-3 hours at one go is an amazing thing. Yeah.
Okay, can you tell us what do you like most about your role as the chorus master?
What do I enjoy most about? Well, actually, it's like I've said, I'm a choral director by profession. So being SLO's chorus masters allows me to work with the adult chorus and the youth chorus nowadays also, but the adult chorus in preparation for our opera production. So it is not very much. It is very much akin to what I do on a daily basis. Well, the real joy in working with choruses is how I can play a part in helping everybody in the chorus put their voices together into one harmonious and homogeneous collection of sound. But in an opera chorus, there's this additional element because every single one of us are so passionate, and every single one of us has a very distinct characteristic about their voice and their personality. And I think my role is to try to put all these things together and yet maintain the harmonious aspects and still bring out as much colors as I can. Yeah.
So like Terence, like what are some of the different opera voice types?
The voice types. Well, actually, traditionally we have the opera voices, well, which is classified by their singing range. It's not exactly solely opera classification. It actually extends to all forms of chorale singing, and we have like the sopranos, we have the mezzo-sopranos, which sings at a lower range, we have the contraltos, and then we have the countertenors, we have the tenors, we have the baritones, and then we have the bass. And so these are the classification in terms of voice type. But what is unique about opera or the classification of voice type would be that in opera we also identify the voices in terms of their colors and in terms of their quality and in terms of their size sometimes. So we have, for example, we have the soubrette, which is the highest, not necessarily the highest, but a light, flighty soprano sound, and they are usually cast in roles which requires them to be, like flirtatious and young girls, that sort of thing. And after that, we have the coloratura, which is quite an outstanding voice, and you tend to you definitely recognize one of them singing Queen of the Night. If you are familiar with that, you might not even know that it's called the Queen of the Night, but it is that, and it's often used in commercial scenes as well. And then you have the character voices, you have the lyrical voices, which predominantly are tasked with all the beautiful arias. And then you also have the dramatic voices, and they really bring through the storytelling elements.
So like Terence, for these voice types that you just mentioned, they are mainly for us to identify those soloists, are they? Like for example, if in a chorus, the opera chorus, do we also classify them by so many genres, many types of?
Well, in an opera chorus, we are not so particular with the individualistic elements of because they don't sing solo lines as much. It's always a fusion of the harmony and a collective mass of sounds, and that texture lends to different aspects of an opera. So in an opera chorus, we are basically just looking at the DVC of the voices into soprano, alto, tenor, basses. But when we are looking at the soloists, it's not so much so of identification. It's more so of the role play. The voice type goes with the role that they play, and there's a lot of that is where is good to learn these ideas through learning about opera, because most often than not, you will not associate a certain voice with a certain role. But through opera, we can get to know all these things better.
So Terence, like, how do you find, like, how is opera relevant to us? Like to people of our time,
Right.
like currently, and then like...
Yeah, so I would actually think, why is opera not relevant to us? Because most often than not, people tend to engage in activities that they are comfortable with, or they know a lot about, and they enjoy, which is perfectly normal. But then again, when you do not allow yourself to get to know about something, whether it's an art form, whether it's an activity into greater details, you will never get to really discover what kind of magic it can conjure for you and for your experience, you know, in your life. So this is what I feel about opera. Like it is always deemed to be or perceived to be something that is highbrow, that is not as accessible to the general public. I mean, most of the time because it's sung in different languages and whatnot. But you know, I see a lot of youngsters listening to K-pop. I see a lot of youngsters, you know, learning to speak in different languages. Now, where is this? Where is this motivation to get to learn about all these new things? And then eventually, after you have gotten to know these things well enough, you will develop a passion for it. So this is what opera is. It's relevant when you want it to be relevant. And I think that the society, the government, or the education system, and everybody who is involved in the development of the young, and especially the cultivation of an appreciation for art forms, all sorts of art forms should be thinking about this and ensuring that the youths of today are exposed in the right way and to be educated to learn more about this art form so that they can choose whether it is relevant or not, rather than simply deciding that it's not relevant because they don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So like Terence, do you have any message you can share with our viewers out there who may be new to opera or haven't been to an opera yet?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like, you can just take me as an example. Like I'm a choir boy. I didn't really know about opera. I was lucky enough to be involved with an opera production. I didn't know better. I just decided that, oh, this is an interesting experience. I remember it all my life. I can still sing to the tune. So when SLO did Aida just a while back, you know, I was like totally elated, and I could sing along to every single one of the chorus song because it just got into me, and I didn't even know that I liked opera until, you know, like not even until I started doing opera. Until I became SLO's chorus master. I think it's something that I think what is important is that we should always be open-minded about what a particular art form means to us, and allow us to understand it better, allow us to experience it, and then you can decide whether it is something that you want to pursue, even if it's not. You know, it still enriches your life in a different way because it has given you variety. It has given you a diversity in life experience, and I think that is one of the most wonderful things that anyone can get in life.
Yeah, it's like, I know, like from our chorus, there are a lot of them are actually volunteers, and then not all of them do music full time or anything. They just do it like, you know, they may have a regular job
as a passion,
yeah,
as
so,
a pastime.
Yeah, and if you have no music background, for example, is it, you know, can people join the chorus actually? Yeah,
why not? I mean, as long as you can hold a tune, and even if you can't hold a tune, you can train to master something like that.
That's what you're hired for, right?
That's what my job is supposed to be. But I mean, I think it's important that people don't get put off by whatever that they might not necessarily have in life, in terms of or musical training or whatnot. It's always taking the first step to learn more about opera, for example, or any art form, and then getting to know about it better, and then researching or finding out about what kind of skills you will need, and go on to acquire the skills so that you can enjoy the art form and make it part of your life. I think that is why human beings are human beings.
Okay.
We evolve.
Thank you, Terence.
Yeah.
So, one last question to answer our episode title. Is opera too old-fashioned for you?
Is opera too old-fashioned? I mean, it is up to you to decide, but it's the same as, is opera relevant? Is opera attractive? Well, these are questions that you can only ask after you have come in touch with the art form. For me, opera is not old-fashioned if you truly understand the essence of opera and what it is about. But it can be old-fashioned if you're just looking at it and just brushing it off without understanding better. So I urge everybody to go catch an opera, or just hop onto YouTube and search for some of the most popular or most often viewed opera choruses or opera arias, and just watch it. I mean, it takes you less than 5-10 minutes of your time, and then you will be blown away without even realizing it.
Okay, thank you, Terence. Thank you for sharing so much with us today. And I think it's very important that our audiences and viewers out there listen to a perspective from a chorus master, because we don't get to hear this every day. You see?
Oh, appreciate it. I'm glad I can share.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for our viewers, if you have any questions for Terence, feel free to drop them in the comments and we'll get back to you. Next week, we have a very interesting guest, so keep a lookout and see you. Bye.
What really hooked me onto opera was just this kind of raw emotions and how opera deals with very human themes. And with all great art, it's always a matter of the more you know, the deeper you want to know more about it. I mean, I'm a little bit OCD. I'm very compulsive when it comes to learning something. I need to know everything about it. So for me, it's very natural.